Hello, boys and girls. I want to read you another story. This one is called Miss Rumphius. The story and the pictures are by Barbara Cooney, and it was published by Puffin Books. Let's get started. The Lupin Lady lives in a small house overlooking the sea. In between, the rocks around her house grow blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. The Lupin Lady is little and old. But she has not always been that way. I know. She is my great aunt, and she told me so. Once upon a time, she was a little girl named Alice who lived in a city by the sea. From the front stoop, she could see the wharves and the bristling masts of tall ships. Many years ago, her grandfather had come to America on a large sailing ship. Now he worked in the shop at the bottom of the house, making figureheads for the prows of ships and carving Indians out of wood to put in front of cigar stores. For Alice's grandfather was an artist. He painted pictures, too, of sailing ships and places across the sea. When he was very busy, Alice helped him put in the skies. In the evening, Alice sat on her grandfather's knee and listened to his stories of faraway places. When he had finished, Alice would say, "When I grow up, I too will go to faraway places, and when I grow old, I too will live beside the sea." "That is all very well, little Alice," said her grandfather, "but there is a third thing you must do." "What is that?" asked Alice. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful," said her grandfather. "All right," said Alice, but she did not know what that could be. In the meantime, Alice got up and washed her face and ate porridge for breakfast. She went to school and came home and did her homework, and pretty soon she was grown up. Then my great-aunt Alice set out to do the 3 things she had told her grandfather she was going to do. She left home and went to live in another city far from the sea and the salt air. There she worked in a library, dusting books and keeping them from getting mixed up, and helping people find the ones they wanted. Some of the books told her about faraway places. People called her Miss Rumphius now. Sometimes she went to the conservatory in the middle of the park. When she stepped inside on a wintry day, the warm, moist air wrapped itself around her, and the sweet smell of jasmine filled her nose. "This is almost like a tropical isle," said Miss Rumphius, "but not quite. Oh, you can't see the pictures." So Miss Rumphius went to a real tropical island where people kept cockatoos and monkeys as pets. She walked on long beaches, picking up beautiful shells. One day she met the Baba Raja, the king of a fishing village. "You must be tired," he said. "Come into my house and rest." So Miss Rumphius went in and met the Baba Raja's wife. The Baba Raja himself thatched a green coconut and cut a slice off the top so that Miss Rumphius could drink the coconut water inside. Before she left, the Baba Raja gave her a beautiful mother-of-pearl shell on which he had painted a bird of paradise and the words, "You will always remain in my heart." "You will always remain in mine, too," said Miss Rumphius. My great-aunt, Miss Alice Rumphius, climbed tall mountains where the snow never melted. She went through the jungles and across deserts. She saw lions playing and kangaroos jumping, and everywhere she made friends she would never forget. Finally, she came to the land of the lotus eaters, and there, getting off a camel, she hurt her back. "What a foolish thing to do," said Miss Rumphius. "Well, I have certainly seen faraway places. Maybe it is time to find my place by the sea." And it was, and she did. From the perch of her new house, Miss Rumphius watched the sun come up. She watched it cross the heavens and sparkle on the water, and she saw it set in glory in the evening. She started a little garden among the rocks that surrounded her house, and she planted a few flower seeds in the stony ground. Miss Rumphius was almost perfectly happy. "But there was still one more thing I have to do," she said. "I have to do something to make the world more beautiful." "But what?" "The world already is pretty nice," she thought, looking out over the ocean. The next spring Miss Rumphius was not very well. Her back was bothering her again, and she had to stay in bed most of the time. The flowers she had planted the summer before had come up and bloomed in spite of the stony ground. She could see them from her bedroom window, blue and purple and rose-colored. "Lupins," said Miss Rumphius with satisfaction. "I have always loved lupins the best. I wish I could plant more seed this summer so I could still have more flowers next year." But she was not able to. After a hard winter, spring came. Miss Rumphius was feeling much better. Now she could take walks again. One afternoon she started to go up and over the hill, where she had not been in a long time. "I don't believe my eyes," she cried when she got to the top, for there, on the other side of the hill, was a large patch of blue and purple and rose-colored lupins. "It was the wind," she said as she knelt in delight. "It was the wind that brought the seeds from my garden here, and the birds must have helped." Then Miss Rumphius had a wonderful idea. She hurried home and got out her seed catalogs. She sent off to the very best seed house for 5 bushels of lupin seed. All that summer Miss Rumphius, her pockets full of seeds, wandered over fields and headlands sowing lupins. She scattered seeds along the highways and down the country lanes. She flung handfuls of them around the schoolhouse and back of the church. She tossed them in hollows and along stone walls. Her back didn't hurt her any more at all. Now, some people called her "that crazy old lady." The next spring there were lupins everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. They bloomed along the highways and down the lanes. Bright patches lay around the schoolhouse and back of the church. Down in the hollows and along the stone walls grew the beautiful flowers. Miss Rumphius had done the most difficult thing of all. My great-aunt Alice Rumphius is very old now. Her hair is very white. Every year there are more and more lupins. Now they call her the Lupin Lady. Sometimes my friends stand with me outside her gate, curious to see the old lady who planted the fields of lupins. When she invites us in, they come slowly. They think she is the oldest woman in the world. Often she tells us stories of far-away places. When I grow up, I tell her, I too will go to faraway places and come home to live by the sea. "That is all very well, little Alice," says my aunt, "but there is a third thing you must do." "What is that?" I ask. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful." "All right," I say. But I do not know yet what that can be. Boys and girls, I hope that you will plan to make the world more beautiful and do lots of other things too. But if we all make the world a little more beautiful, oh my goodness, it is going to be a more wonderful place than it is even now. And I know that you can think of something to do to make the world more beautiful. Right now, I want to show you some lupin seeds. So do you see these little tiny black seeds in my hand? I'll put them up here so that you can see them just a little better. Do you see them there? very, very tiny. Those two little seeds will grow lupin plants. And lupin plants are tall. Do you see these flowers here? Those are lupins. So they grow lots of little flowers all in a tall row at the top of a plant. Let's try making a lupin plant, shall we? So what we need is a piece of paper and some paint. Now, I have some sponges here that I'm going to put my hand on, but you could get just paint and you could paint your hand. I'm going to use this one. So if you have green paint, you just paint your fingers and paint the top part of your hand. I'm just going to use this and I'm going to push my hand in it because it will put paint on my hand. It's a sponge filled with a bunch of paint. And I'm going to put that on our paper and press down really hard on my hand. So if you've got paint on your hand, press down really hard. Otherwise, you could draw a handprint just like you did earlier. And I'm going to fill in some of my parts so that my plant is full. And that looks okay. So do you see that? There is my handprint. Now, I'm going to push that away. And now I need to have a Kleenex or something. Oh, well, I'll use this hand because this one's all green. So what I'm going to do now is if you have other paint, you can paint just a fingertip. And then to make your lupin flowers, you would put paint. So hers were blue and purple and pink colored. I don't have purple. If you have purple paint, that would be a good color to do. But I have blue and I have yellow and I have red. So I'm going to do mine in those colors. So I just put a bunch of fingerprints. So it looks like a lupin flower. Do you see the blue there? Now I'm going to try a yellow one. You can try whatever colors you would like. See if I can get enough paint on here. Oh, there's some good paint. Okay. Yellow doesn't show up very well. It's such a light color when you use it, but it is a pretty one. Sunny yellow. And just put some fingerprints up and down your stalk. Can you see that? Like that. So I've got a blue and a yellow. Let's try some red. See if I can find some red paint here. Oh, red shows up really nice. You see that one? Yeah, that shows up nice and bright. I'm going to make some more red because it's a very cheery color. Seems to be working for me pretty well. You can add whatever colors you would like. But painting with fingers is kind of fun. Or fingertips. It's much easier to paint with a fingertip than it is to draw a whole bunch of little red circles. And I wonder what would happen if I put some blue on top of my red. Do you think it might go purple? Does red and blue make purple? Let's try that and just see. So we'll put that up. Get my blue out again. And see if I can find a spot that has a bit of paint on it. If you wanted to, you could use markers too. That's an easy way to do it if you don't have paint. But I do like paint. It's lots of fun to use. So there are my lupin flowers. Now I'm missing a pot, aren't I? So I think I'm going to draw a pot. So my pot's going to be kind of a rectangle with a smaller bottom like that. And I think I'm going to decorate my pot. I'm going to give it some squiggle lines. Make it kind of stripy. And I wonder what's missing from my picture. Do you know what's missing, boys and girls? Whenever you make a picture, you should always put your name on it because you're the creator of your picture. You made something that just you made. So I will put my name on there. And do you think we should write a sentence? I think so too. Maybe you want to make a picture like this for your mother for Mother's Day. You could do that too. And you could write Happy Mother's Day or I love you, Mom, on it because it's coming up. Or you could just write a sentence. I love lupins. Love lupins. What do they begin with? Yes, L. There's lots of L's in that sentence. I think I'm going to write that. I love lupins. Loop. Yeah, you hear a P. Lupins. And there is my sentence. It is still missing my name, isn't it? I better write my name. And always start your name with an uppercase letter. Okay, I think I'm finished. If you write a date on it, you will always know how old you were when you drew your picture. Thank you, boys and girls, so much for joining me. If you were here, I would give you some lupin seeds so that you could plant some and grow some in your garden. They are beautiful flowers. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And remember, you are important. You are special. You are loved. Bye for now.